Glorify the King, Almighty and everlasting Father ADONiA, ELOHIM. I come with a heart full of thanksgiving and a mouth filled with praise. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart, Most High, glorify the Father, God, Yahweh, and everything that is good over this nation, this kingdom, superpower little nation of little kingdoms. I come before you, Father, today to say thank you for allowing myself to see another day and my life to exist. Bloodshed is in our streets, Father, because of corrupt political leaders, corrupt religious leaders, and us as individuals living a life of infidelity and corruption. Have mercy on my life and for what I would have done that would contribute to anything negative in respect to this country. I do not endorse bloodshed, Most High, Almighty Yahweh. In the name of their Son, the Yeshua, I speak from my heart. I do not support and or endorse violence on the streets of the Bahamas, Bahama land, the 242. I speak to the leaders of this country, the government of this country, the religious leaders, the social leaders. It is absolutely atrocious and egregious what y'all have allowed to happen in this country. And then y'all, and I'm 43 on the 2nd of June, the very same day, 2013, the very same day, former reigning sovereign, as far as I'm concerned, of the Kingdom of the Bahamas. This country has a king now. We always had a king. And because wicked and corrupt political lawyers give me a doctor any time to run and lead our country, or at least very highly educated. Let the doctors be in the hospitals, really, to tell you the truth. And let the lawyers then become ombudsperson, because never again must the Bahamian people ever elect one of these lawyers who have led and or sat with any one of the two prime ministers that have led the people of this country for the last 21 plus years. Now, I'm not afraid to declare these things to the Bahamas. Yes, every national airwaves I were on, y'all heard me speak up for the PLP against the FNM when I did not know anything. I was on the radio. I want the world to know. I was on the national airwaves from 1996. And from the day I came on the national airwaves, I have been standing up for righteousness that have exalted our nation. Sin is a reproach, and I want the political and religious gangsters to understand I am not afraid to die for the next generation unborn. In fact, it is an honor and it is a great privilege to be chosen by God for the house of Willis Miller, my grandfather, father of my father, and myself. My grandfather's house was blessed. My father's house is blessed because he's still alive. He's 70 years of age to hear and to witness the greatness of God in this nation. Never before have words that have been uttered ever been uttered in Bahamian history on any national airwaves before. And it's because the records, according to the government and governments of the world, this young man is speaking the truth. And if I'm speaking the truth and the living God is with me, you cannot touch me, because you'll be fighting against the throne room of the Father Yahweh and his crucified Son that came back to life and gave all of us, black and white, the opportunity to choose right from wrong, good over evil, and light over darkness, love over hate, equality Equal rights and justice is what I'm demanding from the United Nations Security Council. I'm also demanding from the sovereign grand directing and commanding, the sovereign grand commander of the Supreme Council, to speak whatever he needs to speak to, whoever he needs to speak to. Because in a little while, I will become a martyr for my country before I allow what Perry Glasson Christie and Hubert Alexander Ingram have in store because of your corrupt political leaders from around the world, great superpower countries. And I send this message first also to the President of the United States and to your Congress. Mr. Obama, President Obama, with the greatest respect, your foreign policies is atrocious and egregious, if you ask me, because if you have not showed the blessing of God in respect to reparation for the black people, if you have not stood up for the black race, knowing that America have paid homage and recognized the American Indians and the atrocious and atrocities, egregious gangsterism that took place in the past in respect to history. It is absolutely the truth, and I want all of you all to know that I will not be hungry this evening. I'm hungry every time I make these tape. I'm perhaps almost on death empty, while some foreigner holds our natural resources in our hands. Our children cannot come out of their homes today because of a little rain. It's just an hour rain or 2 or 3 or rain overnight and we're in trouble, while the politicians have the best cars to drive in. Foreigners are on the... Listen to me. I'm not here to disturb people's business. I'm here to take the two heads of the leaders in respect to the politics out of the politics of our country. Because these two men does not have the best interest of the Bahamian people at heart. That is period. My talent, they didn't want y'all to see. They didn't want me to express. They won't give me a chance to showcase certain things of what I can do. And that's because General Electric is behind it. General Electric, your interest in the deal is because of Her Majesty reigning sovereign and whatever interest they have in this country in respect to lime. And by the way, lime, P.S., while I remember, lime, you don't power anything. The power comes from God. And also, there will be no natural oil drilling in our country. This is one of the reasons why I demand that Perry Glasson Christie is removed from the office of Prime Minister immediately and be investigated for corruption. I also demand that the former Prime Minister also be brought up on charges for corruption. They have led our country, in my humble opinion, on the brink of chaos and destruction. Their policies in respect to foreign direct investments have cramped and paralyzed our country. Black Bahamians who have talent, their plans and ideas were stolen, if you ask me, in the last 21 plus years. As long as these men sat, very, very rare. Bahamians have been promising land upon land and never was given free and clear title. What is this nonsense? And you know land is the basis of all wealth. I am not down with crooks and corrupt leaders like these people. I stand for the blue party. I represent the seed of the blue black. The great men like Imhotep, first multinational genius according to the Greeks. He was a god of medicine. The Greeks recorded that, said if Hippocrates was the father of medicine, then Imhotep had to be the god of medicine. He was a black man like Solomon. And I'm a wise young man. I'm not going to walk in this earth because it's 2013 and because there is some beautiful televisions around. Yes, I'm going to watch television. Yes, I'm going to have fun. And yes, I'm going to do the things that represent freedom. But I will not be controlled and be, when I walk the street, in fear that some corrupt police that were brought back on the force to do what? Take people like myself off the street so the powerful voice of the people will be silenced. Well, y'all silence me now because the word is out. And I serve y'all notice the people must go to an election within 2.5 years and remove the Progressive Liberal Party from governing this country if the Progressive Liberal Party leadership is not powerful and brave enough, all right, to remove There is, in respect to a vote of no confidence in this prime minister. He has no plan for the young men that's why the majority of us are locked down. That's why we have so much chaos on the streets. And now you want to bring in 8,000 Chinese and then blame the problem we having on the streets for the brothers with causing it. Of course they causing it, and they deserve to go to prison. Because I told them I will not endorse bloodshed. I will not endorse murder and robbery and rape and those nonsense that brings down a touristic destination such as the Bahamas. It will bring us to destruction. Haiti and Jamaica together will be better than us. And I'm telling the people this word, last but not least. Infidelity is what's destroying us, and this is what they're feeding off. They're feeding off your infidelity and your fear to speak up, like Amos J. for Justice Miller Israel, the oldest name in Bahamian history. I call on the God, the Yeshua, to defend every word that I have said with signs and extreme wonders to prove that I am his seed.